President Joe Biden on Thursday ordered U.S. military airstrikes in eastern Syria against facilities the Pentagon claims belong to Iranian-backed militias. The Pentagon said the airstrike was a commensurate response to a rocket attack on U.S. targets in Iraq. The attack marked the first known U.S. military action under President Joe Biden, quickly drew criticism from Democratic lawmakers. The site was not specifically linked to the rocket attack, but Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said he believes it was used by Iranian-backed Shiite militias that have fired rockets into U.S. and coalition forces, CNN reported. February 26, 2021, the airstrikes, first reported by Reuters, appear to have limited scope, potentially lowering the risk of escalation. Joe Biden's decision to strike only in Syria and not in Iraq, at least for now, also gives the Iraqi government breathing space while conducting its own investigation into the February 15 attack that wounded Americans. At the direction of President Joe Biden, U.S. military forces last night conducted airstrikes against infrastructure used by Iranian-backed militant groups in eastern Syria, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said, quoted by Reuters. February 26, 2021, President Biden will act to protect American and coalition personnel. At the same time, we have acted in a deliberate manner aimed at lowering the overall situation in both eastern Syria and Iraq, Kirby said. He added that the attack destroyed several facilities at border control points used by a number of Iranian-backed militant groups, including Kataib Hezbollah, KH, and Kataib Sayyid al-Shuhada, KSS. Hezbollah's Kataib militia has been operating in Iraq since 2003 and is backed by Iran. Reuters. The site that the U.S. attacked on Thursday is believed to have been used as part of a weapons smuggling operation by the militia, a U.S. official told CNN. The attack was carried out to degrade the group's ability to carry out attacks and to send messages about recent attacks, the official said. A U.S. official, who spoke without naming names, told Reuters the decision to carry out the attack was intended to send a signal that although the United States wanted to punish the militias, they did not want the situation to turn into a larger conflict. The official added that Biden was given a variety of options and one of the most limited responses was chosen. It was not immediately clear what damage was caused and whether there were any casualties from the U.S. attack. Michael McCaul, a top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, said the attack was the right move. A response like this is a necessary deterrent and reminds Iran, its proxies, and our enemies around the world that attacks on U.S. interests will not be tolerated, McCaul said. The Iraqi military found a pickup truck with a rocket launcher mounted on the back and 3 rockets still inside a shell room believed to be used in the attack on the Taji military base north of Baghdad. The rocket attack on U.S. positions comes as Washington and Tehran look for ways to return to the 2015 nuclear deal abandoned by former U.S. President Donald Trump. It is unclear how, or whether, the attack could affect U.S. efforts to persuade Iran to return to negotiations on both sides that continue compliance with the agreement. In the February 15 attack, rockets hit a U.S. military base located at Erbil International Airport in Kurdish-run territory, killing one non-American contractor and wounding a number of American contractors and members of U.S. defense personnel. Another attack hit a base housing U.S. troops north of Baghdad a few days later, injuring at least one contractor. The rocket hit Baghdad's Green Zone on Monday, which houses the U.S. Embassy and other diplomatic offices. Earlier this week, the Kataib Hezbollah group, one of Iraq's main pro-Iranian militia groups, denied being involved in the rocket attack. Some Western and Iraqi officials said the attack, which is often claimed by lesser-known groups, was carried out by militants with ties to Kataib Hezbollah as a way for Iran's allies to disrupt U.S. forces without being held accountable. Since late 2019, the United States has been conducting high-profile attacks on the Kataib Hezbollah militia group in Iraq and Syria in response to sometimes deadly rocket attacks against U.S.-led forces. Under the Trump administration, the escalation of attacks and retaliation has fueled tensions, culminating in the U.S. killing of Iranian military leader Qasem Soleimani and Iran's ballistic missile attack on U.S. forces in Iraq last year. The decision to target sites in Syria was made from an order top to bottom, a defense official told CNN. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said Joe Biden had authorized the attack on Thursday morning, after he recommended President Biden take action. "We're confident in the target we're after," Austin said on a flight back to Washington from San Diego on Thursday. "We know what we're attacking. We allow and encourage Iraqis to investigate and develop intelligence, and that helps us greatly in refining targets." Kirby said Joe Biden allowed airstrikes into Syria after consulting with U.S. allies, including coalition partners, and that happened around 6 p.m. Eastern Time, ET.